Greetings, everyone. I don't really know what kind of audience this is going to eventually reach, so I feel like I could be eventually talking to and addressing many people. Um, Alright, so I guess I have this, I don't know if you say idea, I don't even know if it was my idea. I feel like it was brought to me. Anyway, I'm a medium, I guess you could say. I think all that terminology is really strange too. I like to call myself um, either sensory intuitor, or energy reader, spirit reader. I think those are more apt terms. But for what it's worth, I am also a medium, and I didn't really want to do this or release this yet, but I've been communicating with Breonna today, and that's who be having conversations with today. Um, and she makes me feel like she would like me to release this. It's all me. Like, I'm afraid. It's my fear. I don't want to step on people's toes. Uh, I don't want to disrespect family members and things. I want to be clear about this too, because I'm probably going to be doing several conversations with different people who have been killed. So, whoever wants to come and talk about that stuff. Um, so today we're going to be speaking with Brianna. Um, I'd like to say that no matter who it is, and no matter who you're watching, if you see personally on your own a medium, or if you see them on TV, it's important to know, no matter where you see them, or if you've ever seen anything like a medium perform or do what they do, it's important to know that I feel like most mediums and most people who have access to this ability, because everyone has this ability, but the ones who are aware of it and are using it um, in certain ways, because we all have predisposed sensitivities. Um, Whenever you're channeling, the spirit, here's my interpretation of channeling. It is a lot like translating, but what happens on an energetic, more so physical level, is the energy of the spirit, the being, meshes or combines with my energy. My energy and soul kind of moves out of the body mostly. Some of theirs moves in. But at the same time, there's also and always um, a meshing of the two. And it's not exactly that both of us are speaking at the same time. It's more like the spirit utilizes me, the body, and my mind, and accesses what I have available based on my experience, my lexicon, my language, things I've witnessed or felt. The spirit really has only access to those things. So if I'm not able to think it or express it or have the word for it, they're not going to be able to find it within me. So there is always this sort of filter when you're talking about channeling a spirit. Um, it's the spirit through the lens of the channel. And it's not so much, I think that can be tricky because in some channels may, and as a channel, like, you learn and you grow and you figure these things out. But as a channel, you come to know the difference between things that you are formulating in your mind and things you're receiving into the mind, or however it is that you receive it. So I think, though, from an outside perspective, it can seem that the channel is leading or guiding and doing things, um, but it's not really like a what happens in proper channeling is a person, the channel, releases permission for a temporary set of time, or the notion being temporary. You may have access to my energy temporarily, and i.e. my body, so they can access my brain and things and send energy into me and to me. My body on a subconscious level translates or finds things subconsciously, and my mental consciousness, I'm aware of all this. I can come out of meditation or channeling at any time, so I'm quite aware. Um, I'm going to try to have these as conversations, so it might be something where I channel, I stop, I ask a question, so there might be back and forth. I don't know. I'm going to give them a platform to speak first. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like. They might speak a lot throughout the whole thing. I think I'm going to be experiencing kind of some of the things that they experienced upon their passing too, physically, but more so emotionally and energetically. So those are just some things um, I wanted to clarify about channeling. So I'm not trying to claim that this is 100% Breonna. Like, this is Breonna through the filter of me as a channel. So please keep that in mind. But for my beliefs, I am accessing the spirit of Breonna Taylor. We've been communicating. I've been using a pendulum to kind of formulate some decisions and where to take this. I'm going to be leaving this up to them as I do these interviews and conversations. I'm going to ask that they address and have make commentary on how they see things going, whether or not they get permission for this, how they view, or I'll just let them talk, I guess. But I wanted to give them an opportunity to address everything. But I'm going to be leaving it up to them, so I can't really say for sure how these are going to go or how they're going to look because I'm going to let them lead it. But I would like to have them be conversational. Um, so if anyone has questions, you may feel free to comment them or send them to me directly on social media. And if I get access to them, I'll try to um, access those spirits again or whatever and get those questions on a panel for you. But in the meantime, I'm going to be doing conversations based on my own judgment. So I will try to, at some point, come up with some questions or try to guide the conversation. But the first part is going to be a platform for them. I don't think I have anything else to say. Um, we can do this if you like. Brianna, are you here? And this is her affirmative. I've already asked her this from side to side. It's the same as my twins. Mine is a little different, so that's why I clarify. This all beings have their own energy and they move differently. But Breonna Taylor, are you here? Is your spirit present? And I'm going to ask it to stop because I have another question. Do you give permission to have this conversation and to have it be made to public awareness and public viewing? Okay. So that's her affirmative. Is there any other questions I want to ask for you guys in front of you? I think that's it for the pendulum. I just wanted to clarify a little bit about my process, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. To me, it's really I have fear and I'm scared. To be honest with you, it's easy doing this recording because I'm not posting it yet. But I've already asked Brianna; she would like me to post this tonight, so I probably will, despite my own fear and reluctance. Um, it's scary to put yourself out there. I'm gonna go into a little bit of a trance and relax. I think I'm going to be seeing some things. I already have seen and experienced a few things about that night, which is nothing new. It's just like kind of experienced them, nothing, no new information. But I'll probably be feeling some things for a while, and then she may start to talk, but we'll see. I'm not sure how this is going to go. So, here we go. There might be a lot of moments of silence, there might not. sorry. He says I have the floor. I would like to speak a little bit first. This is new for me. This interaction process. I would like to speak a little bit at first about doubt. This person that you see communicating, you see me communicating through, he has a lot of doubt. I was telling him this and showing him this as I entered the energetic field, as he said, as he calls it. I do want to talk about doubt because I bring up the doubt with him to teach him what the doubt does. And he knows already what it does, but I'm making a point to show him the doubt within his personal experience is blocking and therefore taking more moments for me to come through, which is not a problem. But I'm trying to teach him something about doubt because I want to keep talking about the doubt. There is a lot of doubt in the minds of today's people, especially regarding the events. There are many events, but many of these events surround my passing. I would like everyone to know that I am at peace. You really can't put into words what the death experience is like. But suffice it to say that I am well and I am happy and I am safe and I am secure and I am at peace. I would like to thank everyone for their support. There was so much confusion involved. I would like to take the platform now to speak about this, about my death, if I may. There was a lot of confusion for me in the beginning and throughout the passing and after the passing. There is a lot of energy surrounding this. You might see emotion, but you must know that I, Breonna, no longer carry sadness or hurt. It is possible that the energy may express itself in ways that might make it seem like Breonna, might be sad or upset. I would like to clarify. I am not. I am using a human being that is still living to use my voice to continue to speak. And I do think this work is important, and that's why I would like him to share this as soon as he feels comfortable, but as soon as possible, as soon as it's done, if you like. I believe it is important. I would like to thank all the people that are out there in my name, and you can't know yet what it means to somebody like me and my family, but to my spirit, because I brought up confusion. I was confused. I was confused upon waking. I hear shots from beside me from Kenny. I'm startled, but that's when it's very quick. And then I'm hit. And then it just keeps coming. But the pain, I'd like to say, is not, I didn't really feel it. I did feel the initial, I had felt what was happening to me, but what I felt and what I remember now feeling more was confusion. Who's waking me? Who's breaking into my house? There's the fear, and there is what's happening to me. And then by the time you have that thought, what's happening, you have holes in you already. And I can't describe it, but it's not, I felt them physically, but I can't really say that it was painful. What was painful to me was my confusion at the time. And you're confused, and then you're being hit, and that just adds to the confusion. I think I was in shock for at least 1 to 2 minutes. I was bleeding. My brain was paralyzed. I, it's hard to say now if I was within my body and moving the body. I don't know. I can't really recall how long, but my brain was paralyzed. Is the way I feel like saying it. My brain was frozen as my body was ceasing. My brain was paralyzed. How did this happen? What is happening? Shock. I remained in that shock as I passed away. There were so many gunshots. Eh, I think though, I think I knew. I think it did take a little bit of time. It's hard to measure now. Maybe 30, 60 seconds. But eventually, I it I knew I was leaving. But I still remained confused. There was a heavy cloud of confusion, but at some point I did know, I did register what was happening. And I was in shock. My brain was in shock. My consciousness was in shock. It was paralyzed. And I remained in shock. I remained in the room while Kenny was still there. I and police. I remember seeing my body. I think that I was in shock for a long time. I do remember venturing outside. My awareness eventually, I was able, because they had started. I could. At some point, I knew when my mother was around, and I eventually discovered that I could move relatively. Wouldn't say freely, but with some motion. With some motion, not emotion. Motion. I discovered that I'm not stuck. I think seeing Kenny after I had passed helped bring me back into some kind of conscious reality because I was so confused. But something pulled me back in. I do remember spending a lot of time around Kenny, but I was so confused. And I'm trying to calm him down, but I can't do anything. And you can't imagine the kind of shock that you go through in that is minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes long of bouncing back and forth confusion, trying to calm Kenny down, trying to understand why is Kenny so upset. And then you remember, you can look over at your body. It's just a constant, what is happening? Why? What did we do? Why is this happening to us? What brought this on? There's just so much confusion, and it's a shock, and it causes you to freeze. And I think that my desire to console Kenny helped keep my wits about my mind, about my consciousness outside my body. because my mind was fractured, fragmented. It was confused. It was in shock. Like I said, it was paralyzed. And my death happened pretty quickly. And I'm still registering during my passing and after my passing that I am even passing. And it registers to you, but you're still in shock, and you're trying to understand, and you're trying to, and you see confusion, you feel confusion, you feel the pain of your boyfriend, you feel the you can feel some of the heart sink in some of the people involved in the police, because they realize they've done something wrong. Some of them realize that. But I was confused. And I remained confused for a while. I would follow Kenny and I would follow my mom around. And my sister. But I remained confused. I understood that I was dead. But I was still confused, and my mama was feeling pain. My Kenny was feeling pain. My sis was feeling pain. And I can feel all that. And when you pass away, you become more and more aware of the attention that's given upon you. There was some attention on us in the beginning, but it's been more recent in the last 30 days and on. And now it's millions. And I can't thank you enough individually and collectively for standing up for me and for what it means to my mama and my family. And I include Kenny in my family. Uh, Addressing these things is so challenging. For the opportunity to address my family and my loved ones, my mom and my sister, and Kenny. There's others that he can't name, but I feel you. I want you to know I'm at peace, first and foremost. I don't experience pain. I did experience confusion after my passing for a few weeks, but you'll find that on this side, the heaviness doesn't last and doesn't exist. And so I do want to share my experience to the public and to my loved ones. But you must know that from where I am coming from now, I'm in a place of utmost well-being, and I'm surrounded by love and light. And I reach you, and I've come to you in and with love and light. And I am at peace when my soul is at peace. And I love you. I love you all. And I hear everything that you say to me. And I feel what you feel for me. I'm sorry that I was taken too soon, that I left too soon. I would like to say, as an EMT officer, my goal was always to help save people. And you have to understand that within my being, no matter who you are, if you're related to me or not, if you don't know me at all, you have to know that from where I'm coming from, my desire to help so many people in a big way was so strong. I have been able to impact the world in a way I didn't even know was possible. But I know now that it was my passion and my drive that drove me to be an EMT officer. Now I'm able to save so many more lives. So for me, it is an honor. And I know that what justice is, and I know what justice looks like, and I know and I see what is coming for Earth and America and humans. So from where I am coming from, I am not afraid. And I know what's going to happen. And I can't really speak to it because of the potential for it to grow in people's minds as something that it's not. Because it's not about what you do, but it's about how you be. And so many people are taking a stand in my name, and I want to thank every one of them. You can't know what it's doing for people like myself and George and Ahmad. And there's so many here. Some of these souls are still hurting. And we would like this opportunity to have some voice, no matter what judgments and filters the channel might have about it, or anyone watching might have about it. Because even the opportunity to have a platform through a filter is still better than no platform at all. And some of us in this soul group of murder victims, are still confused. And we band together. We are bonded through our experiences, and we we support one another in these realms. We also want to make clear these realms are not far from your own. We see you, we feel you, we perceive you, we feel your presence, we feel all the adoration and love for us. We do, and it is healing for us. We want to acknowledge that we can feel that because we want the same healing for you. And we want you to understand that we are here to support you as much as you are there supporting the memory of us, for which we are eternally grateful. There will be more that's said with time. I don't want to go into today with too many details and opinions from my perspective. I will just leave it like this. You can't know what kind of shock a person feels in that situation. I will end on this note. When you pass away, there is an expansion, there is a blooming, and it's a sensation. Your senses expand and you become aware of more. I am fine now, but imagine passing away in an environment situation like that and having your senses expanded on an astronomical level in such a heavy, sad, sick, disgusting atmosphere. And to be made aware of all and be connected to all that this has happened to, all the people that this has happened to, and to feel the pain of all the people still living. It is very intense. And depending on where the soul's mind, person's mind is at upon their transition, affects the way they perceive their transition. All transitions end up into the light. But there is a lot of psychological trauma that happens during these incidents and after. And we don't get the chance to talk about that. You don't get the chance to hear about that. Who knows what trauma we go through after our death? Nobody. We'd like to thank the channel for giving us this opportunity and for listening to our pushes and for pushing past your own discomfort. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Who's gonna ask us? Who's gonna listen? Anything you can do to help, anything you can do to help, anything you can do to help. But remember where you came from. Remember where you came from. Remember where you came from. Please, remember where you came from. Blood. Remember where you came from. Spirit, the heart. Where you came from. Love. Well, we will pause and see if the channel has any questions before we stop. I need to eat something. I'm trying to think of at least one question. I do have a question. How can we best address the hate and the anger, the passion that sometimes dwells and becomes unhealthy? I mean, it's happened within my own self, and so I can only imagine how many people, and black people especially, that are feeling lost and hopeless at times and so angry that they can't even see or think straight. How can we best approach this hate in our own reactions and in when we see it in people? How can we do our best to remain in love, I guess? Do you have any comments about that? I can make, this is Breonna again, and I can make comments on that. I will expand upon and refer to what I was just saying. You have to remember where you came from, and you have to remember where your heart is, and what is your heart, and what is it made up of, and what are the decisions, and most importantly, I want to say I care about you just as much as you care about me and my life. You cared about my life, and you care about my justice, and you care about me today, and you care about my spirit. I care the same way for you, and I care for your well-being, and I want to strongly stress the importance of taking care of yourselves emotionally. Get sleep, get food, get water, tend to your heart. How can you best handle this hate and approach this hate? By not getting drowned by it. So, how can you best handle it? Remove yourself. Take a breath or remove yourself completely and go take a nap. You have to find ways of breaking up that heaviness because it will fester and it's not healthy for you. It doesn't really demean, belittle, or slow down or do anything negative to my cause or our cause. It doesn't do anything like that. What does it do? It tears you down as a person to be feeling that. We care about your well being. We suggest strongly that you do whatever you feel is necessary for you to achieve peace in your heart and in your soul. Continue to band together. Continue to stay together. Continue to build on community. Continue to hold each other's hands, in person and metaphorically. Continue to support one another. That unity is how you can combat hate because unity is love. Love is union. Love is compassion. Love is opening your heart to another no matter the condition. It is unconditional. Love is unity, and unity is love. And if you are trying to combat hate, if you are unified, there cannot be any hate that lasts for any longer than a few moments. I would like to point out, as you may have seen, several instances in several different crowds in this one city of Louisville, my city, where in several times there have been altercations, disruptions, physical violence that has been dismantled in a matter of a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and does not get repeated. If it gets repeated, it is taken care of, and there are resolutions. In my mind, in my perspective, from where I see things, it is already being successful. You have to continue to take care of yourself. And if you're ever feeling in despair or hopeless or too angry or consumed with hatred, remember that love is unity, and if you are unified, there's no room for hate to live long. It can't live in that. It can't live in that. And I'd like to point out again, you all are already unified. There is already love there. You all are already fostering the love. It is present. Sometimes you forget or you disbelieve in its power, or you forget, you disbelieve in yourself, you get consumed by the hatred or whatever it is, anger, and that consumes you and it becomes your reality. Let me be here to remind you that is not your reality. Your reality is love, and it is one of unity, and that is what we see. You see, we want peace for you just as much as you want justice and peace for us. We are all in this together. Thank you so much for being a voice for me. You may hear again from me soon, but we will have to let others speak in the meantime. It's hard to understand, but those of us here are excited. And we're happy because we know the love and we feel the love. We know the love and we feel the love. And we know and we see what is out there and what is coming and what is out there now and what is coming in response to what is out there now. We don't have much to fear, but we do have some things to clarify. And we do have things that we wish to express. And we do have things we wish to teach from our experiences. Primarily, our message is that of love. Continue carrying that love with you. I will leave you now. If you are open to it, you do not have to be related to me or know me to receive my love, but this is in response to those who are grieving over me. You may access my energy at any time. You may know that I am with you at any time just by being open to that concept. And if you would like, I can send energy and you may feel my energy through the screen. And it doesn't travel through the screen like that. It's not a technology. It's a beingness and it's energy. And you have access to that energy. Don't ever forget that I'm still here somewhere in spirit. Don't ever forget, because I was one spirit. I will always be spirit. Y'all hear me? I was spirit. I will always be spirit. Do not forget me. Do not forget that I am still here, just in a different way. You may feel that way now. The more open you are to this, the more sensitive you will be to feeling it. This is open to all, but I will reiterate again, primarily intended for my loved ones. They will probably feel this the most strongest should they have access to this. Open your palms to the screen. Open your mind, close your eyes, picture me hugging you. I am here. I am here. I hear you saying my name. I hear them saying my name. Thank you for saying my name. I am here for you too. My love is here for you too, just as your love is here for me. This is about unity. This is about all of us. And this is about love. I love you, and I appreciate so much all the love that's been poured out to me. Because now I can see so much more thanks to you. I'm sorry I can't be there in physical anymore, but I am here. I'm here, and I don't want you to forget it. When the screen goes off, when your mind goes on your bills or on what's going on outdoors, outside, what's going on in the streets, it's okay, but remind yourself, I'm still here. My spirit is not broken. My spirit can never be broken. I'm here to remind you all of that. Spirit cannot be broken. It can only be given away. And oftentimes we ask ourselves, What are we giving ourselves to, and what are we given? What are we given to? What is our cause for giving? And we all answer that in a unique and different way. There will be answers that come from this, and there will be clarity as the months unfold. Weeks and months unfold. There will be more and more clarity in so many ways. Keep being, and keep being you. And thank you, and keep saying my name, because I can't say it anymore. My name is Breonna Taylor, and I was murdered by the LMPD in Louisville, Kentucky on March 13th, 2020, beside my boyfriend. You can't know the feelings I felt as a soul and the despair I felt over what my Kenny felt over my passing. That's something I probably will never forget. And I spent hours around his body attempting to console him. The channel's asking me if there's any last parting words specifically that I want to say. And I will just continue to say, my name is Breonna Taylor, and I was murdered by the LMPD, and it doesn't matter why, and it doesn't matter why not. I was murdered by the LMPD, and I stand for justice, and I stand for peace among all communities and all people. And I stand for love. Thank you for listening to my story.